Naram
chaiva narottamam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
devim saraswatim vyasam
Tato Jayam Mudiraye.
nato jayamudiraye.
Okay, anybody? Rakshita Mata, you want to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Hare Krishna.
So before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, these personalities we have to remember and pay obeisances. So who are these? Narayan, Narayan Rishi, human being, who's the topmost human being, then Mother Saraswati, who's the goddess of learning, and Shri Vyasadeva, the author. Right? So these 5 personalities. So this is what we discussed yesterday. And we can quickly read, Mataji, you can quickly read the purport and then we'll go to the next shloka.
Sure, Prabhuji, I'll read. All the Vedic literatures and the Puranas are meant for conquering the darkest region of material existence. The living being is in the state of forgetfulness of his relation with God due to his being overly attracted to material sense gratification from time immemorial. His struggle for existence in the material world is perpetual, and it is not possible for him to get out of it by making plans. If he at all wants to conquer the perpetual struggle for existence, he must re-establish his eternal relationship with God. And one who wants to adopt such remedial measures must take shelter of literatures such as the Vedas and the Puranas. Foolish people say that the Puranas have no connection with the Vedas. However, the Puranas are supplementary explanations of the Vedas intended for different types of men. All men are not equal. There are men who are conducted by the mode of goodness, others who are under the mode of passion, and others who are under the mode of ignorance. The Puranas are so divided that any class of men can take advantage of them and gradually regain their lost position and get out of the hard struggle for existence. Srila Sutta Goswami shows the way of chanting the Puranas. This may be followed by persons who aspire to be preachers of the Vedic literature and Puranas. Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Purana, and it is especially meant for them who desire to get out of the material entanglement permanently. Hari Krishna.
Okay, Hare. So Sutta Goswami is showing from his own example how before starting he is reciting the shloka to remember all the personalities. So this is how we have to approach Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay.
Did we do this yesterday?
We did it yesterday, yes, Mataji. You are right. You have good memory. So now we'll go to the next one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sorry.
So Prabhuji, this mentions Nar and Narayan and sages, and we have heard about them in Bhagavad Gita also and in Mahabharata also, that how Krishna and Arjuna were the original Nar and Narayan Rishi. So who are these sages, Nar and Narayan? Do we know anything more about them?
So Nar Narayan Rishi, they are they come in lot of stories and pastimes they had, but basically they are considered as great sages who are actually incarnation of the Lord and Arjun, and they there are a lot of pastimes actually where they are quoted. I'm trying to see which one pastime you could be familiar with.
I don't know anything, Prabhuji. Please tell anything, at least one, so that I can know next time that I know at least one.
So I think there was a demon named Sahasra Kavacha. I don't know you all know or not the story. Anybody knows the story of Sahasra Kavacha?
I think I know.
You know, but we're talking about them.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So Suresh knows. Anybody else? Okay. So I can probably recite this story. Okay. Ankita Mataji raising hand. Mataji, you want to tell?
No, Prabhuji, you tell. I just know in bits and pieces.
You know,
He was Karna, I think, in the next part.
Yes, you're right. So that was one story. Basically,
Yes.
what happens, this demon, he worships, I think it was Lord Shiva. He worships Lord Shiva, gets benediction, and that let my body be made up of 1,000 shields, kavach. And then if anybody breaks even one shield, that person should die. Right? So that person should die. So this person, this demon became so notorious, he kept making nonsense throughout the different planetary systems, and he was basically uncontrollable because of this strong, powerful benediction which he got. So what happened? Then Nara and Narayan Rishi, they were approached and they decided, okay, some way he's creating a lot of nonsense and trouble for people, so he needs to be taught a lesson. So they actually knew the art of how one can, who is dead, can come out. They knew the mantras by which you can, once you are dead, you can brought to life. So you have to perform something like certain kind of Mahamrityunjay mantra and different mantras with in a proper place, like a very holy place where one time doing will give you the benefit of thousands of times. So it's a long story, but I'm just concising it. So what they do is, one of them gets the power to, with the mantra and chanting, they get enough power to break one kavach. So let's say Nar goes, he breaks one kavach, and after that one kavach is broken, he dies. But then Narayan in the meantime has chanted the mantra so many times that he can use that power to bring Nar back to life, right? So he makes him bring back to life, and then he goes in the meantime and fights with Sastra Kavacha, while now Nar is practicing austerities and mantra and trying to get the power so that he can he can then fight with Sastra Kavacha later. So one by one, both of them goes, and one of them is killed, then the other person saves him by chanting the other mantra. And in the meantime, they're both getting, this is basically a leela, a pastime to show. So like that, 999 kavachas are broken and one kavach is left, and he goes and takes shelter of Suryadev. And once he's taking shelter of Suryadev, he on his behalf, on the behalf of Sastra, Suryadev is asking that please, he's taken shelter of me and now forgive him. And there he stays there. He stays there with Sahastra Kavach, and he stays there with Suryadev. And then when Suryadev, you remember when Kunti prays to Suryadev and he gives a son, that son actually was this only. So he was with one kavach left. His one kavach was still left. So this is how he was born. So that is one pastime. Another pastime is when Nar Narayan, they were performing austerity and tapasya. At that time, Indra became very fearful that they are going to come and take away my kingdom of heaven. So what he does, he sends all his beautiful apsaras to try to distract. Actually, we see Indra doing it at different times, and a lot of people actually breaking the austerities. So one example comes of Vishwamitra Muni, famous example, right? Vishwamitra Muni is meditating, and then Indra sends apsaras. First he sent apsara, which one? Menaka. And the Menaka, due to the just hearing the ankle bells of Menaka, the payal, Vishwamitra gets distracted, and then he basically falls down. So that is one situation where he is attacked by lust. In the second situation, Vishwamitra Muni is approached or sent, Rambha is sent, and at that time he falls down because of anger, right? Another example comes of Lord Shiva. Once Lord Shiva was doing austerity and tapasya and meditating, and then at that time, what's his name? Kamadev. Kamadev tries to distract Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva at that time gets angry on Kamadev that you are trying to. So then Lord Shiva looks at him, and what happens? He burns. Yeah. So just by looking of Lord Shiva, Kamadev burns, and he has to give up his physical body. Now, because he is a heavenly being, Kamadev, he's like a demigod, he can still survive even without the body. But a human being would have been either dead or become a ghost, right? Or had to accept another body. But he's Kamdev, so he could still hang on. But that's why he's also called as Ananga. No anga, no body. Ananga is word also used sometimes for Lord, Supreme Lord, because he doesn't have any material body. Anyways, coming back. So Lord Shiva here, he gets also attacked by anger. But we see Nar Narayan Rishi, when they are meditating, Indra is sending his beautiful, beautiful apsaras. And when they approach Nar Narayan Rishi, they simply smile, and it's like a joke for them. Due to their tapasya and austerity, what they do is they produce so many more beautiful apsaras and gives to them and tells them, please take these as a gift from us to Indra, and tell Indra he does not have any reason to worry from us. We have no desire for his kingdom. And one of the apsaras they sent was Purvashi, who was one of the most beautiful apsaras and Indra's favorite. So this is how Nar Narayan Rishi was not attacked by neither lust, greed, or anger, nothing. They were completely transcendental. So these are some of the many pastimes of these rishis.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, what did you say about the Kavach? Who that person was? My battery was there, so I missed that part.
Yeah, I was just sharing that there was a demon who had 1,000 kavach, like, shields.
What was the name of the demon?
Sahastra Kavacha.
Oh, okay.
So that was his name. And then next life, he was actually Karna. So Karna was, having mixed qualities. He had some good qualities and some qualities from his previous birth, some demoniac quality. And of course, being in association of Duryodhan, his negative qualities started to flare up and he made certain mistakes. But because he was with Surya Dev for some time, he had inculcated and learned a lot of positive qualities, devotional qualities also. because Lord Surya Dev like devotee, right? Demigod.
But Prabhuji, Tarn didn't have that power that if somebody breaks his kavach, they will die. That wasn't there, right?
Kavach, Karna's Kavach was actually given by him to Indradev.
Yes, but wasn't that anybody who breaks the kavach will die? It was just that it was impenetrable, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that benediction was only for the previous life.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
You. So
Then
we'll go to,
why he was just born to Kunti Mata?
he was given, Surya Dev gave him as a gift to Kunti Maharani. Okay, so we'll go to 1 to 5. Srimad Bhagavatam. Back to what topic we were reading. Munaya sadhu prishtoham
Munaya sadhu prishtoham
bhavadbhir loga mangalam
Bhavat
Bhavat
Bhira
Loka
Mangalam
Mangalam
yat kritah Krishna samprashno
Yat
Yatkata
Krita Krishna
Krishna
Samprashno
Samprashno
yenatmasu prasidati.
Yenatma
Enatma
Suprasidati
Suprasidati.
Supratidati.
Who would like to read the translation?
I can read.
Yes, Madhu.
O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to God Krishna and so are of the relevance to world welfare. Only question of the souls are capable of completely satisfying the self. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this question is, this particular shloka is important because many times people are not sure whether they have question, but they are not sure whether they should answer the ask the question or not, whether it's appropriate or not. So here the Sud Goswami is telling the sages that actually this is glorious that you have asked such questions. If these questions are asked, which are spiritual questions, which are related to the Supreme Lord, these questions are very, very good. Why? Because here, because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of relevance to the world's welfare. They actually can be of welfare to the people. In fact, only such questions are capable of satisfying the self. Basically, the speaker gets the benefit, the listener gets the benefit, and those who are asking the question, they also get benefit. So it's beneficial for all. So let's read the purport. Who would like to volunteer for reading the purport?
I can
Anybody?
read.
Yes, Mansi, go ahead.
Since it has been purport, since it has been stated here in before that in Bhagavatam, the absolute truth is to be known. The question of the sages of Naimisharanya are proper and just because they pertain to Krishna, who is the supreme personality of Godhead. The absolute truth in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the personality of Godhead says that in all the Vedas there is nothing but the urge of searching after him, Lord Krishna. Thus, the questions that pertain to Krishna are the sum and substance of all the Vedic inquiries. The whole world is full of questions and answers. The birds, beasts, and men are all busy in the matter of perpetual questions and answers. In the morning, the birds in the nest become busy with questions and answers. And in the evening also, the same birds come back and again become busy with questions and answers. The human being, unless he is fast asleep at night, is busy with questions and answers. The businessmen in the market are busy with questions and answers. And so also the lawyers in the court and the students in the school and colleges, the legislators in the parliament are also busy with questions and answers. and the politicians and the press representatives are all busy with questions and answers. Although they go on making such questions and answers for their whole lives, they are not at all satisfied. Satisfaction of the soul can only be obtained by questions and answers on the subject of Krishna. Krishna is our most intimate master, friend, father, or son, and object of conjugal love. Forgetting Krishna, we have created so many objects of questions and answers, but none of them are able to give up complete satisfaction. All things but Krishna give temporary satisfaction only. So, if we are to have complete satisfaction, we must take to the questions and answers about Krishna. We cannot live for a moment without being questioned or without giving answers. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam deals with questions and answers that are related to Krishna, we can derive the highest satisfaction only by reading and hearing this transcendental literature. One should learn the Srimad Bhagavatam and make an all around solutions to all problems pertaining to social, political, or religious matters. Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna are the sum total of all living things. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada, as mentioned in this particular shloka, because there was a mention of question and ages, they were asking question. Prabhupada is relating it to what is happening in the whole world. Everybody is asking questions. The birds, they are asking question, where is my food? Where is my food? Where is my opposite sex? You know, where is my family member, my children to protect? So like that, birds are thinking, beasts also, animals are also thinking the same thing. And of course, humans, they also have many questions. We may also have different questions. And Prabhupada is mentioning businessmen, they have their own questions, whether this particular investment is going to work or not, whether this particular business is going to work or not for me. So everybody has different questions and answers, but what kind of questions one should ask? What is the real question? I mean, the human form of life, we have this discriminating power that we can decide what questions are going to be of long-term benefit for us, what are going to be the eternal benefit for us. So those are the actual questions which one has to ask. So that is the point here which is being mentioned. And if one asks those questions which are pertaining to Krishna consciousness, then those questions are actually going to open the path which will lead to complete satisfaction. Getting such answers will be completely satisfying. Yen atma suprasidhati. You will find this many shlokas which will come, which will have this phrase, Yen atma suprasidhati. So this is one of them. All right. Anybody would like to add anything here? Any questions, comments, any points? Otherwise, we'll go to the next one. Okay, we'll go to the next shloka. This is one of the most important shlokas in this chapter, if not in the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. One point 2.6. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktirathokshaje
Bhaktiradhokshaye
aitukiya pratihata
ahaitukya aprahita
yayatma supratitati. Okay, so who will read the translation? Any volunteers?
The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for reading. So ultimately, everybody is looking for one thing, which is satisfaction, right? Everywhere, anywhere we are thinking or doing anything, we are thinking of how this will actually satisfy me. So that complete satisfaction of the self, how will that happen? Here is the formula. The formula is, if one can attain to loving devotional service to the transcendental Lord. If we take to the loving devotional service to the Lord, then that will actually completely satisfy ourselves, provided what are the qualities of such devotional service? 2 points are mentioned. What are the 2 points? How should be such devotional service?
Unmotivated.
Unmotivated and
Uninterrupted.
uninterrupted. So unmotivated means no material motives. We are not going to God only because God will fulfill our desires. That is motivated. Material motives are there. Unmotivated means no material motives. Only spiritual reasons we are going. Only because we want to please God. Only because we want to love God. Only because we want to re-establish our relationship with Lord. Lord has done his 50% to come close to us. We have to do the remaining 50% from ours. He has already given us such nice environment, human body, Krishna conscious devotee association, people, nice family. He has blessed us in so many ways. So now it's our turn to utilize it from spiritual perspective. So first is unmotivated and second is uninterrupted. Not that, okay, today is Janmashtami, so I'll do a little bit. Or today is someday, Diwali, I'll probably do some puja. Or Tuesday, we'll do it. Not like that. Uninterrupted means constant, every day. Nityam Bhagavata Seva, Nityam, eternally, every day, uninterrupted. So if we have these two things, unmotivated and uninterrupted, regular, that's why when you read Srimad Bhagavatam every day, when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day, discuss it and try to apply in your life, you see how it actually changes and transforms your consciousness. So this is uninterrupted devotional service. So if these two qualities will be there, then that will completely satisfy us. Okay, so we'll read the purport. Who would like to read? Any volunteers?
Can I read?
Yes, Annie, please.
In this statement, Sri Sutta Goswami answers the first question of the sages of Naimisharanya. The sages asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential part so that fallen people or the people in general might easily take it up. The Vedas prescribe two different types of occupation for the human being. One is called the Pravratri Marg, or the path of sense enjoyment, and the other is called the Nivritti Marg, or the path of renunciation. The path of enjoyment is inferior, and the path of sacrifice for the supreme cause is superior. The material existence of the living being is a diseased condition of actual life. Actual life is spiritual existence or Brahmabhut existence, where life is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Material existence is temporary, illusory, and full of miseries. There is no happiness at all. There is just the futile attempt to get rid of the miseries and temporary cessation of misery is falsely called happiness. Therefore, the path of progressive material enjoyment, which is temporary, miserable, and illusory, is inferior, but devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which leads one to eternal, blissful, and all cognizant life, is called the superior quality of occupation. This is sometimes polluted when mixed with the inferior quality. For example, adoption of devotional service for material gain is certainly an obstruction to the progressive path of renunciation. Renunciation or abnegation for ultimate good is certainly a better occupation than enjoyment in the diseased condition of life. Such enjoyment only aggravates the symptoms of disease and increases the duration. Therefore, devotional service to the Lord must be pure in quality, that is, without the least desire for material enjoyment. One should therefore accept the superior quality of occupation in the form of the devotional service of the Lord without any tinge of unnecessary desire, fruitive action, and philosophical speculation. This alone can lead one to perpetual solace in his service. Should I continue with the second para?
Yes, Auntie, please.
We have purposely denoted dharma as occupation because the root meaning of the word dharma is that which sustains one's existence. A living being's sustenance of existence is to coordinate his activities with his eternal relation with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishna is the central pivot of living beings, and he is the all-attractive living entity or eternal form amongst all other living beings or eternal forms. Each and every living being has his eternal form in the spiritual existence, and Krishna is the eternal attraction for all of them. Krishna is the complete whole, and everything else is his part and parcel. The relation is one of the servant and the served. It is transcendental and is completely distinct from our experience in material existence. This relation of servant and the served is the most congenial form of intimacy. One can realize it as devotional service progresses. Everyone should engage himself in that transcendental loving service of the Lord, even in the present conditional state of material existence. That will gradually give one the clue to actual life and please him to complete satisfaction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Auntie, for reading. So, a lot of things are there in this purport. But it's already 9 o'clock. If I may request, can all the devotees try to read this again, maybe later today or tomorrow, and then we can have more discussion on this tomorrow, and maybe you can even listen to a lecture on this. You can find, or maybe I can share some links in the group. You can find in there's a website, srimadbhagavatamclass.com. In srimadbhagavatamclass.com, you will have lectures on practically all shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is one place you can look into, and then of course YouTube or ISKCON Desire. And then we can have discussion on this and the subsequent shloka. Will that be okay?
Yes, I think that will be very fruitful.
Okay, so before we end, all the devotees who would like to share anything from this particular shloka before we end can share anything in particular you like or striking or like to bring up.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanam Pranam.
Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Yes,
Welcome
Prabhu.
for our conference call. Very grateful
Thank,
for you joining. Please share.
thank you, Prabhu, for giving me your association. Prabhu. I just wanted to share one personal experience in the shloka, as it is said, bhakti should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. So just in terms of the uninterrupted part, I think for a long time regarding chanting, I used to take chanting as something I have to do my best, to chant like regular rounds. But sometimes rounds used to be less, sometimes adequate, sometimes less again. With mind used to convince that, okay, do as much as you can. But then I was reading the book called The Living Name by His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj. And in that, he made a very nice point which struck me, and I thought it helped me. So I wanted to share how uninterrupted bhakti or service is important. So he explains with the example of chanting that it's comparing it to boiling water. So when you put water to boil, you have to boil and you have to wait for it to come all the way up to the boiling temperature. So only then will all the impurities in the water be destroyed. So it's not like if you heat the water a little bit today, tomorrow you heat it more, then only one day in a week you heat it completely to boiling. Will it work? You have to boil it every day for the impurities to go away. So from that point really struck with me, and I understood how it is important to be uninterrupted daily in a service. In this case was chanting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Beautiful example. So if I understood correctly, we provide the heat constantly for the temperature of water to stay high. If we heat it little, then stop it, and then heat it into, irregularly, then obviously the temperature won't be there. So we have to constantly provide the temperature. Similarly, we have to uninterruptedly perform devotional service, regularly chanting, hearing, and try to, regulate our life to think of Krishna and be Krishna conscious. Is that the correct understanding, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. All right. Anybody else would like to share anything? Any final points?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Can Aradhya chant this shloka?
Yes, please.
Bolo. Savati.
Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti yato kshade ahaitukhi apratiyata yayatmasu prasidati.
Good. Very good.
Hare Krishna. Very
Oh, very good, Aradhya.
amazing.
Hare Bol.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you to all the devotees for joining and participating. We'll end it here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
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 Kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitam
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Krishna.